All right, welcome back. We're ready for chapter 20 in Red Kayak. Brady is back in Baltimore from his trip to Rhode Island, and he said in the last chapter that he knew what he had to do. Let's see what that is today. Here we go, chapter 20 of Red Kayak. Tilly barked and ran circles around me. She was so excited that I had returned. It was good to be home. Throwing the ball for my dog, eating what I wanted, having a bathroom all to myself again. Summer had taken over while I was gone. It was hot as blazes outside, humid too, and inside our house, all the air conditioners hummed in the windows. Dad, his shirt soaked with sweat, brought home some of the crabs that he had caught that day for dinner, and Mom steamed them in a big silver kettle on the stove. Ordinarily, we would pick crabs on a picnic table inside the little screened in porch we have on the back of the house, but it was too hot, so I spread newspapers out over the kitchen table and got the bucket of wooden mallets from the cabinet above the refrigerator. I fixed us each little bowls of vinegar, melted butter, and Old Bay spice for dipping the crab meat. And then Mom set out some cucumber and onion salad and a steaming plate full of corn on the cob. One of my all time favorite meals, I have to say. I must have cracked and picked a dozen crabs before I even started getting full. After eating, I helped Mom do the dishes while Dad got rid of the messy mountain of crab shells that we had left on the table. Peach ice cream for dessert. We took bowls of it into the living room to eat, and I gave my parents their souvenirs. Dad seemed pleased when he set his paperweight on the coffee table and he said, "Look here. Now I can keep all those bills in one place," he joked. And Mom got right up to go stick the blinking lighthouse magnet on the refrigerator door. Dad stretched out his long legs, put his arms up behind his head, and he yawned. "How's the crabbing been?" I asked. "Terrible," he said, letting out such a long sigh that I was a little sorry that I'd asked. "Must have thrown back 20, 30 sponge crabs today. I'll tell you, it kills me. It just kills me every time to think nobody's doing nothing to stop that in Virginia." Sponge crabs. Those are the females with the eggs. It's illegal to keep them in Maryland, and an effort to help boost the crab population, but not in Virginia. And they own the water near the mouth of the bay. It's always been a source of irritation to my dad. "It's been a lousy season, Brady," Dad said. "Kenny and I are even talking about doing some perch fishing to offset it some." Perch? I could not envision Dad and Kenny out there fishing perch instead of hauling crabs. "Yeah," Dad confirmed, but he didn't sound too enthusiastic about it. "And that reminds me," he said, sitting up and letting his hands fall onto his knees. "I need to run down to the marina and pick up some bait for tomorrow. You want to come along, Brady?" I blew the air out of my cheeks and shook my head. "Nah, I'm pretty beat, train and all." Mom stood up to gather our empty ice cream bowls. "I'll go with you, Tom," she said brightly, "if you'll stop in at Ida's and let me run in with that dress that she's going to take in for me." As soon as my parents were gone, I sprang into action. A piece of apple, part of a carrot. I put the food in the palm of my hand and went downstairs to the basement where I opened the top of Tiny Tim's cage. After settling the food inside, I let the hamster smell my fingers. I felt an ache for Ben then. Ben, who should be here on this earth taking care of Tiny Tim. But it was not enough to stop me from what I was about to do. Underneath the workbench, I pulled out the box of rags and shoved my hand beneath the curtains looking for the drill. When I felt the bag, I grabbed it and I pulled it out. With my foot, I pushed the box back underneath and closed the cupboard door. By then, it was close to 8 p.m., and it had cooled off some outside. I headed down to the water, the bag wrapped drill in my hand, Tilly running on ahead. At the end of the dock, I climbed down the ladder and I got into the little dinghy we kept tied there. A loud crack cut the air. Tilly had found a huge horseshoe crab shell on the creek bank and was chomping away. Quickly, I drew back on the oars so I could escape without her. I didn't want anyone to see what I was about to do, not even my dog. In the middle of the creek, I brought the oars inside the boat and I let the boat drift. A couple bullfrogs were starting to croak in the march grass. And every once in a while, there was a little bloop when a fish jumped. But I was jittery being out on the water, and I wished for a split second I'd thought of some other way to do this. I looked around, but who was there to see me? So I didn't waste a lot of time worrying. I just took the drill out of the bag and I tossed it about 3 feet away. There was a little splash, and then it was gone. Now, unless I opened my mouth, no one would ever know, I thought. At least ways if they did, they couldn't prove it. My friends wouldn't get in trouble, and neither would I. The way I looked at it, I was protecting JT and Digger, and my parents as well. In the dim evening light, I watched the ripples from the disturbed water chase one another, some toward me, and some toward the opposite shore, where they disappeared before long into the dark expanse of water. So there you have it, guys. That's the end of chapter 20. Did you see that coming? Did you see Brady throwing the drill into the water? I don't know if everybody did, but we'll see where we go. This book is not over yet. Guys, go ahead and head on over to our two links here for my page, or I should say my channel, Mr. Nepp's YouTube channel. Check out the previous videos that we've got on there, and we'll see you guys for chapter 21. Have a good day.